Dear God, it's the podcast. Oh my God. Brock Hunter,
Kevin.
We are here once again to give you the after show podcast where we do a fact and opinion, or we ramble about God knows a lot of incoherent rambling here.
Absolutely.
What about this?
We black out a lot on this podcast.
Yeah, a lot of blacking out. Nicolas Cage turned down the roles of Shrek in Shrek, Neo in the Matrix, Harry in Dumb and Dumber, and Aragorn in the Lord of the Rings. He turned down
Harry and Dumb and Dumber. Could you imagine Cage as Harry? What?
See, it's hard now.
Weird.
We've had this conversation before. It's like, because you've read all about like, oh, this role was supposed to go so and so or so and whatever. And it's hard to imagine it because of now it becoming an iconic role. Like, let's go to Shrek. So Nicolas Cage turned that down. Chris Farley recorded damn near the whole
thing, basically.
Yeah. And then went to Mike Myers. Which I could see Chris Farley doing it, but it still seems off because Mike Myers, like, that's what you associate with Shrek, his voice and everything like that. So it seems weird.
So could you imagine Jim Carrey and Nicolas Cage, Dumb and Dumber?
I don't think so.
So I know for a fact that Jim Carrey said, "Hey, I'll do the role, but you get Jeff Daniels."
So Jeff Daniels has Jim Carrey to thank for
100%. Even Jeff Daniels says that. He's like 100%. Like, the only reason I got this role is because of Jim Carrey.
No kidding. I'm trying to think of Jeff Daniels at that point.
Yeah, it's because here's the thing. If you think about it, Nicolas Cage is almost too of a front runner. Jim Carrey at the time was such like he still is, but such an animated character. So
yeah,
it's all Jim Carrey, dude. And you can't have anybody that is anything like Jim Carrey. And Jeff Daniels is perfect because he's just he's the greatest second man in that movie. Let him do all the craziness. And I'm just gonna play the second role guy and kind of go along with it, dude. It's a perfect casting, really, and I think it would have ruined it if Cage was in it.
I think all the movies that with these legendary roles, it all worked out the way it should. I don't think. Well, of course, they become legendary roles because of what happens. Maybe if Nicolas Cage was cast in there, Dumb and Dumber wouldn't be the cult classic that it is today. You know what I mean? So it's weird to think about that. Now, some of the other roles, I think he would have been great in Matrix. I think he would have done great as Neo.
That's probably like the closest one, right? I mean, maybe probably could have seen it, but damn, dude, Keanu Reeves did such a great job. He's just nostalgic in that role.
I can see, and I know Nicolas Cage can do funny roles, but even his funny roles, it still kind of got that little bit of kookiness about it. So I could definitely see him as Neo in the Matrix, and then also that other role is Aragorn in Lord of the Rings. I think he could have done both of those really, really well.
Which was Aragorn? Was that the bow and arrow?
No,
that was Legolas or something.
Yeah, Aragorn is the
Aragorn. Which one was Aragorn? I've only seen Lord of the Rings once, and then pieces of it when it was on TV.
It's played by Viggo Mortensen. He's the one. You know him if you saw him.
I think I know who you're talking about. It's one of the main guys, right?
Yeah. He's him and Legolas.
Doesn't he do the one meme where he's like?
No, that's a different guy. That's a different guy. Yeah. I'm trying.
What's that meme where he's like?
Is that? I don't think you. No, fucking. What is that meme?
Yeah. What does it say? That's all. What's the quote always?
Lord of the Rings.
Right.
It is the.
It's pretty funny, dude.
What is that?
If you use it in the right tense, it's pretty funny.
That's perfect. Fucking A, dude, we're doing so bad on this. Would you think our memes would be better because we spend all day online? What is that one? But that's the guy isn't it Sean Bean? I think I think so. Yeah, that's what you're thinking of. But anyway, I could see Nicolas Cage in those roles. I think you would have done a good job.
I like Cage. Dude, I like Cage in certain roles, man. He did. And outside of the movie and behind the scenes, I heard he's a pretty neat guy. Pretty nice guy. He takes pictures with people. He goes to regular grocery stores. Dude, he lives kind of a normal life, I guess.
I'd love. There's a story about Nicolas Cage. He bought T-Rex skull for like $500,000.
Jeez.
He had it just like sitting in his living room, and then I think he ended up having to like give it back or something. Like he bought it black market. I'm like, that's such a fucking Nick Cage thing to do.
Weird
Like,
thing to, yeah.
I want to buy that T-Rex skull. It's like, all right, Nicolas Cage.
It's crazy that he's got the power to do so.
Another little fun fact about, and I feel bad because his version of Ghost Rider, I think if it would have had a better director, because that came out, it's kind of like the early Spider-Mans, Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, right.
It was kind of cheesy and everything. Nicolas Cage is such a huge Ghost Rider fan. He actually had a Ghost Rider tattoo before he ever even got cast in the movie.
Oh, really?
So he was like, I fucking have to play this role. Unfortunately, it's not a bad movie, but it's kind of cheesy. It's one of those older before.
It's the CGI that's kind of, it sucks.
That is kind of hard CGI to do, a flaming skull and make it not shitty. But maybe if they did it now, it might not be as bad, So I don't know. Ava Mendes looks hot in that fucking movie, though, too. So.
Not bad.
Yeah, I'd ghost ride her.
It's the best part of the movie.
Right there. So, yeah, Nicolas Cage. If you're watching Nicolas Cage for some reason, we love you.
Yeah, man.
We love you. If you ever want to come on the show,
We love it.
Talk about crazy shit.
Dude, how awesome would that be?
It would be. Okay, let's list it real quick. Out of all these movies, Nicolas Cage movies, what's your favorite? You got Face Off. You got Face Off. You have Con Air. And you have Snake Eyes. Out of those three, which one are you watching?
Con Air.
Ooh, that's a tough choice. I'm going to say Face Off. I don't know why, but the premise is crazy.
Face Off is good.
And then you have Travolta acting like Nicolas Cage, and Nicolas Cage acting like Travolta.
That was a good movie, man. I just actually was just on TV a couple weeks ago. Face Off watched a little bit of it.
Snake Eyes doesn't get as much love, but that's another good one. If you haven't seen it in a while, watch it again. It's a good movie, dude. It's a good movie. So, yeah. Anyway. And what's the movie where he gets the bees? Is that The Weatherman?
The Bees. I don't know if I've seen that one.
I think so.
The Bees? What?
Like,
dude, he's been in so many movies, for God's sake.
So many.
You know how many like B movies he's got out there too that like we probably don't even know of, dude.
How many?
It feels like there's always a Nicolas Cage movie popping up on Netflix, and I'm like, oh, I didn't see that one. Oh, there's another one. Oh,
at least 115 movies.
Damn.
It's a lot of movies. That's a lot of movies. Yeah. So anyway. All right. Well, that was a 7, almost 8 minutes on Nicolas Cage.
You got caged. You guys got caged.
You got caged. All right. That's going to do it for the After Show podcast. Thank you all so much for hanging out, and we'll see you next time for another Fact and Opinion right here with WIRX.